Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Gonna be doing a first trimester recap in this video. I am currently 19 weeks pregnant and where to begin? First trimester was exciting, it was a roller coaster, it was a lot of things. So I guess I should tell you about when I found out and how I found out and all that good stuff. It was December 2020, the year of surprises, and this was a big one. So I realized that I hadn't had my period, but I'm a very irregular person anyway, and I didn't think that I'd be pregnant or anything like that. I'd been going through some things, and I just didn't think there was any way. I had just had an ectopic pregnancy in June, and I thought, you know, there's no way, like, this isn't what's happening. But me being me, I have bulk orders of pregnancy tests in my bathroom just because I want to make sure, you know. So I went ahead and took one of those, and it was like a faint positive. So I took another one, and it was positive, for sure positive. So I took another one, and that one was for sure positive. I said, what the hell? Okay, so maybe something's wrong with these. So I checked the expiration date, and for sure they were expired because I'd had them forever. So I said, okay, it's probably nothing. These things are probably faulty. Don't even worry about it. Long story short, the next morning I had an interview scheduled for my podcast with another content creator, and I could not focus that morning. So I said, all right, I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to get a 2-pack, brand new. I'm going to take those as soon as I'm done with my interview. So that's what I did. The interview, I kind of like rushed through. I was present for it, but I wasn't that present, not as much as I would have liked to be. And so as soon as it's over, I go, I take my test, and the first one's positive. And I'm like, what? No way. I take the other one. So at this point, I've taken 5 different tests, and they are all positive. So I said, okay, guess I better do something about this. And I was in disbelief. I was in shock, you know, of course. With my history, I just automatically assumed that this was going to end in miscarriage or something, you know, something negative. And I decided to make an appointment to get like an actual like clinical test done, just to confirm and all that. But the days in between, I actually started to spot a little bit. It wasn't any heavy bleeding or anything like that, but I thought, oh crap, here we go, like I'm gonna have a miscarriage over the weekend, so just prepare yourself, whatever. I called the clinic and they actually scheduled me in sooner, so I went in the very next morning, something like that, and they didn't even do a pregnancy test, they just went straight to a scan and confirmed that yes, I was pregnant, and the baby was the size of a grain of rice, and everything was fine. My spotting was fine, it wasn't anything out of the ordinary. I told them my history, the poor tech or physician, whoever it was, I told him, you know, like, what about this? What about an ectopic? What if it's bleeding? And what if it's blah, blah, blah? Like, I had all these different scenarios. And the poor guy, he was so sweet and went through every single thing I asked, showed me on my scan how it would look if it were like that and how it doesn't look this way, so it's perfectly normal. Then he went on to tell me that he has seen many people who have had, you know, ectopics or miscarriages and things like that in the past who have gone on to have very healthy pregnancies, and reassured me that if I wanted to see this through, which I did, I could, and it could potentially be a healthy full-term pregnancy. At that point, my heart just dropped, and I didn't know what to think because I am going through a separation with my husband of 15 years. So I said, wow, the universe has a sense of humor. What am I going to do? This is going to be a different life for me, but I want it. I want this so much, and I want the baby. Like, I want to experience this. So as soon as the doctor left, I couldn't think of anything else but chicken nuggets. I just wanted chicken nuggets so bad in that moment. And I text my husband, because, you know, we're not divorced, whatever. My husband, my partner, baby daddy, whatever you want to call him. He was in the car waiting, and I told him what was up. I told him I really wanted chicken nuggets. And so we decided to go to McDonald's as soon as we were done. And we talked about it and kind of just looked at each other and said, you know, is there any part of you that really, really wants this? And we both agreed that we did. So we're going to see it through and see what happens, because, you know, you never know. It could end in a miscarriage. It could, whatever. Like, we didn't know what was going to happen. So we decided to see it through because we really wanted to see where it took us. And so here we are now at 19 weeks. It's just such an incredible feeling to have made it to 12 weeks, made it into that second trimester, and have seen the little nugget. Yes, I call the baby Nugget because I wanted chicken nuggets that day, and these apps ask you to pick a nickname, so Nugget is the nickname. And I think I'll forever call the baby Nugget. But that's pretty much what happened. That was a pretty exciting and roller coaster of a moment for me and the baby daddy. But we're so happy and we're so grateful, and every time we get to see the little nugget on an ultrasound or hear the heartbeat, it's magic. It's just pure magic. And yeah, so needless to say, during my first trimester, I was so paranoid. I was treating myself with so much caution and care, almost like if I were a high risk. You know, I wasn't picking, obviously I still don't pick anything super heavy up, but I'm a little more laxed now that I'm in my second trimester. But that first one, I was just swapping products left and right, Googling everything under the sun, anything that I was going to consume or touch or smell or come near, especially with COVID going on. Like, I was being super careful with everything. And I'll probably do another video on like all the products that I swapped out. If you're interested in that, let me know. But yeah, my first trimester went pretty well, to be honest with you. I didn't really have too many crazy symptoms. I was tired. I was very tired. At one point, I was kind of caught in this cycle of like so tired. Like, so I was always sleeping. I would wake up and eat, use the restroom, and go back to sleep. And it was just that cycle like all day long. I'm so fortunate that I work from home, and the clients that I did have, I was able to schedule not only our meetings, but the work that I do for them around my naps and nausea. Nausea was a killer, but luckily I didn't really vomit. I think I probably heaved like 2 or 3 times, if that. And yeah, so I've been pretty lucky. No crazy aversions. The weird one was avocado. For 2 whole weeks, I did not want anything to do with avocado. I don't know why. That is so abnormal for me. But now she's like an avocado toast queen. Okay, yes, it's a girl. I know what it is. I just spilled. But anyway, yeah, it was avocado. And my daily snack was pickles and 2 sticks of celery, a handful of like cherry tomatoes, and whatever else we had. Sometimes some Kalamata olives, stuff like that. I was craving really tangy things. Drinking tons of water. I dropped coffee. I dropped obviously booze, all the things, all the substances, tea, things like that, like no more. And I started kind of doing my own take of journaling, where in my notes app, I would just kind of like pull it out once in a while and do these Dear Nugget journal entries. They're really like letters to the baby. I thought it was appropriate and something that I kind of always wanted from my mom, which I don't know, like I guess it's just something nostalgic for me, that should anything happen to me, you know, during delivery or at any point in my life, she'll have that to look back on, as well as these videos. So I'm just kind of trying to document well for her, whether it's through Instagram or YouTube videos or journaling, things like that. And yeah, just kind of thinking ahead and making sure that I tell her how much I love her and show her. So Emotions are a thing. Oh my god. Emotions have been real. Let me tell you. I cry a lot. It's not always like a bad cry. Sometimes it's a good cry, but I do cry a lot. And I don't want to cry right now, so I'm gonna just sip my tea. What else? What else? I did have a huge fear of losing her, which is why I did all of that, you know, swapping products and Googling and all the things. I swapped things like my makeup, my hair care, my skincare. I was very careful about everything that I ate, everything that I drank, things like that. And oh yes, I got immediately on prenatals. I did so much research. I ended up finding them at Sprouts. I'll probably post them. I'll either like put a little box here or link them down in the description because these are really great ones. And they're not super expensive either, because you know when you kind of get into those like whole food plant-based type of vitamins, it can get a little bit pricey, but these are pretty reasonable and I really love them. They've been great so far. They're not hard to swallow. They don't like give you those like weird burps or anything, so they've been really great. And drinking tons and tons of water. You're supposed to shoot for like at least 80 ounces a day, and I typically meet that. I left it down there. I have a pretty tall cup that I've kind of always had because I've always been big on drinking water. It's one of those like slim cups, and yeah, if I go through at least 3 of those a day, I'm good. So that's what I aim for. Anyway, I felt in my bones from the beginning that this was gonna be a girl. And I know I already said it's a girl, and it is, but before that, like just from the beginning, I felt in my heart, in my soul, that this was gonna be a girl. And the Mayan and the Chinese calendar both agreed with me. And if you don't know what those are, I'll link links to that in the description too. Those are fun to play with. There's no real science around it, but you know, I feel like they may have had it right back in the day. I don't doubt it. So yeah, you can have your opinion on that. I know that for my family, and a lot of people that I know have used it and even tested back with like kids that they've had, and it's pretty accurate. I don't think it's ever been inaccurate. So if you want to give that a try, it might be something fun for you to do. Oh yes, we'd been toying with names throughout the first trimester. My husband and I had a shared Google Doc where we kind of did an outline, and it would be like name, meaning, origin, and kind of like, we didn't really have it in much of an order, but at first, like some of our favorite names were at the top. And then I will say this, the day that I heard the heartbeat, it was like she told me her name. One of the names from the list that was way down at the bottom just like popped into my head, and it was like she told me what her name was, and it makes sense. And I'll do a video on that one because that's kind of like a really special thing for me. But yeah, I'll wrap up with my first appointment. My first appointment was really exciting, really nerve-wracking, and I didn't know what to expect because of all the history, because of everything. You know, I was scared that maybe she wasn't growing, that maybe something was wrong. I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. I was just full of fear and I was anxious, but trying to be calm. You know, I was meditating a lot and trying to keep a positive mindset about everything. So I go to my appointment and I meet the doctor, I meet the staff, they take me back, and we get straight to it. You know, we talk a little bit, but they go straight into the ultrasound, and there she is. She's this tiny little thing, but you can see, you know, a big head, and we call it the nugget dance because her arms were moving and she does a little kick at the end. I got to record it and send it to her dad, and I mean, of course, he was out in the parking lot waiting.
It looks good, okay?
Thank you.
Oh, he's dancing.
Yeah, I'm dancing in there.
Wow. That was really special. I cried for sure. I cried because like I said, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if there was going to be anything there, if it was still a viable pregnancy or any of those things. So I was just super grateful. And yeah, I don't even know I have no more words. Like, that was just like, gratitude is the only thing I felt in my heart and in my soul that day. And we immediately went for tacos after. But yeah, I was just like thrilled, still a little in denial, like, what is going on? It was more shock that this is still going on. This is still a viable pregnancy. This is really happening. And God, it's just so surreal. I think that was at about 8 or 9 weeks. And I was just worried about getting to 12. After that, it was like, okay, let's just make it to 12 weeks and see where this takes us. Right now, we can start telling some of our closest friends and family, but not really too many people until after the 12-week mark. And that's what we did. In the next video, I'm going to talk about my NIPT test, the results, and how that went, and kind of share with you what that experience was all like. And then I'm going to do like pregnancy essentials and stuff like that too. So if you want to check that out, stay tuned. In the meantime, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you sharing this time with me. If you like this sort of thing, please give it a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a beat. Till next time, I'll talk to you soon.